Alright, so I promised a friend that I would show her how I get my hair nice and curly, how to get the best curls you could possibly get, what products I use, and what my technique is. So first of all, I've just washed my hair, and I use, the best product I have found is Toni & Guy. So I wash with Toni & Guy, and this one is for damaged hair. I find that normal is too normal. For damaged hair, it makes it much more softer. So, wash, and the only time you ever brush your hair is when it's wet and when the conditioner is in. So once you conditioner, make sure you brush while the conditioner is in, while you're in the shower. Now, you need also a good paddle brush. I don't use normal straw brushes or normal wire brushes. They're not good for your hair if you've got curly hair. So you need a good paddle brush. So the paddle brushes I have are these two. This is my newest one. This is really, really old. This, I find, is the best paddle brush. I can't even remember what brand it is because it's so old that all the writings come off. But that's a really good paddle brush. This one is by Model Spriefer Professional. But anyway, as you can see, the plastic, they're not wire. Never put wire in your hair. Don't use a round brush, and don't use one of the brittle brushes. This one has, well, these ones have little knobby things on the end like that. See, they protect so your hair doesn't get tangled and you know, if you get tangled and stuck and you pull and it pulls out, it damages your hair. These brushes brush perfect. All right, so step 1, wash your hair. Step 2, leave-in conditioner. So the leave-in conditioner I use is Pantene. This one is Intensive Soothing. I think it's the only Pantene leave-in conditioner that you can find. I'm not a big Pantene fan. I don't use Pantene shampoo and conditioner because it makes your hair too waxy, but the actual leave-in conditioner is really good. You can also get a Toni & Guy leave-in conditioner. So I use this one mostly, and if I want, I can put a little bit of this on the ends. So, once your hair is washed and mostly dry, I use about 20-cent piece on one side and the other side, so 2 lots of 20-cent pieces. So brush it through and get it into your top of your hair, and then you can get your second lot. Don't use too much because only use 2 lots of that. If you use too much, I guess it depends on how long your hair is. If your hair's shorter than mine, only use 1 lot, maybe a second. And also, if your hair is a little bit too wet still, which mine I think is a little bit too wet still, you need to dry it out. So to dry it out, you can just grab your towel and wring most of the wetness out. And if you've taken away some of the leave-in conditioner, just put a tiny bit more. So leave-in conditioner with curly hair is very important because it takes away the frizz and takes away the dryness. So I always have a towel because I have to dry my hands every 5 seconds. I'll put a tiny bit of, if I can, tiny bit of that in the very, very ends. Plus, it smells good. I like the smell of Toni & Guy. It smells fresh. Alright, and don't forget under your head. Alrighty. Now, next step, of course, is to, if I can find my brush, brush it through. So this is the only other time you can brush your hair. Brush your hair when it's wet with conditioner in the shower, and brush your hair when it's wet with leave-in conditioner before you style it. Apart from that, you never brush your hair. Ever, ever, ever. not even day by day. You just use your hands to get your hair up. You brush your hair when it's dry, it goes from curly to prismatic. This also, brushing pulls out all the hairs that need to fall out. Eee, nice and wet. Now I also use this time to separate it into its desired areas because you don't want it to be too clumpy. So like this front part, bring it forward and brush it nicely. But anyway, you can fix that. You'd put the mousse in. Alright, that is brushing done. Now I won't brush my hair for another few days until I wash my hair again. I'm very bright in this light. Okay, next step. Mousse. So, of course, Tony and Guy again. I use the volume pumping mousse. Volume pumping mousse by Tony and Guy. There's a lot of mousses out there. Like this one. I bought this one. It's terrible. Don't ever get that. It's sticky and yucky. And it makes your hair sticky and yucky. Most mousses make your hair sticky and yucky. There was one back 20 years ago, I think made by Franklin's No Name, and it was wonderful, but it's gone off the market. So I've not been able to find anything since, apart from Tony and Guy. So with the mousse, if you can see, I start putting it through my hair and scrunching. If there's any big bits that are stuck together, and then I'll show you what to do in a sec. So through and scrunch. A step back. Probably can't really see, but anyway. Doesn't take that much time. The longest time is the drying. Alright, so if there's big, like I find the back of my hair here kind of clumps a bit, so if you get a little bit more mousse, grab the back part like that, and I kind of just seem to separate it. So you can separate some sections like that, if you can see. Which also doesn't, I mean, this is a technique that you can use to separate big clumps of hair to make smaller curls. I've been doing this for years, so it just comes naturally. But separating. See if you get like hairs like this, separate. When I was younger I used to do this to my whole entire hair, but these days I don't have time and really it doesn't make that much difference. But when I used to do shows and stuff, I used to separate my whole hair so it was really full and really, really curly. And then once you have it all separated, scrunch it all. So that's it. Moussing and scrunching. So, I have all the mousse in my hair. That is step 3. Washing, leave-in conditioner, mousse. Step 4. So step 4 is the last step before drying. Much fun. So, I use serum. Now, I don't really like any other serum but this one. This one is by Garnier, and it's the Anti-Frizz Serum Sleek and Shine. I find some serums are a bit heavy. Tony and Guy one is A, expensive, and B, yeah, I think it's a bit heavy. I haven't really given it a fair go, but I'm finding this one works. So try this one. Garnier. Doesn't smell too bad either. So I am mixing the brands up a bit. I'd rather stay full Tony and Guy, but so just use a 10 to 20 centimeter on this side, also scrunching it in. Don't put too much serum up the top because that's where it gets too oily. So if you put too much oil up there, it gets oily and makes your hair yucky, and then it'll just flatten it out. Rubbing it in your hands, scrunching it. Now you can also do the upside down scrunch, which is important, which you might not be able to see. So upside down, make sure you get the underneath parts of the hair and scrunching. Right. Step 3 done. Now, drying. Never dry your hair with just normal hair dryer, just like that. That just blows all the curls away. There's no point. You have to have a diffuser. So I've had better dryers than this in the past, but this is the one I've got at the moment. This is the VS Sassoon. And it has a cold function, but I don't really use it. But it has a diffuser. Now this is very important to use a diffuser. So use a hairdryer with a diffuser. When you're drying, you scrunch your hair up, put the diffuser into your hand, and dry that way. So scrunch, dry, like that. And then also upside down. So when you're upside down, you can dry this way, but scrunching and drying that way. Okay, let me pause. I'll dry and then I'll show you after. Okay, so that took about 5 minutes, and that's about 95% dry. So using the dryer, I did the fronts, underneath, flipped over, and then also the side, this side. So always grabbing your hair and then putting diffuser on. Don't just blow like this, there's no point. And don't go into your hair like that, it'll just get stuck. So you need to have hand control when drying. So dry about 95% of your hair. Go and get dressed. While you're getting dressed, the hair will cool down because it's been a bit warm, and then once it cools down, you can feel more wet bits again. So after it's cooled down and it's had a bit of a break, in about 5 minutes time, then give it another dry for another couple of minutes, then it'll be fully dry. I'll do that and I'll be back. So that's it. There's your full luscious locks. As you can see, mine goes into ringlets. But, I mean, if I didn't use any of these products, I have a feeling, well, I know my hair just goes poof into frizziness, and it's not really that curly. So it's all about technique, products. Also, after it's dry and you're out and about, if you feel like you want to, put a bit of moisture in it, if you've been in the wind and you've got some flyaway bits up the top, and you can go into the bathroom and just scrunch it with a tiny bit of water. Or I also use this. This is the Salt Texture Spray by Tony and Guy. I think I'm a bit of a Tony and Guy fan. Anyway, I hope that has helped. That is Carla's full luscious locks. I'll see you next time. Bye.